What is going on, everybody? Back on it. Quick little trailer upload. One Piece live action has dropped a season 2 trailer. The official Netflix account itself. I think it released earlier this morning. Already creeping up on 4 million views. I know that we're supposed to be getting, you know, Vivi, Alabasta, Nico, Robin, Chopper, which I'm assuming would also include Crocodile, Smoker. I'm trying to think if there's any kind of like other big names that we'd kind of get dropped. Dawn, are we getting up to? No, we already did all that. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how it translates, how it looks. I've already kind of seen, you know, the Chopper videos that they released earlier this year. Not my cup of tea, but maybe it'll look better kind of like as it gets cleaned up a little bit. I'm curious kind of how they do it, because a lot of people talk about this as like, because Chopper, it's not going to be practical. It's not going to be, you know, a puppet or anything. It's going to be CGI the whole time, and he interacts with a lot of people. So I'm curious of like how it'll be on screen when it's like real sets, people, and then him just on. I wonder if they're kind of like have him on quick, have him off quick, or they can leave him on for long drawn periods of time. You want to kind of stay suspended in that like uncanny valley, in the story, out of the story. So I'm curious of how it'll be here. I enjoyed the first season, you know. It's hard. I feel like you have to quell expectations with it, and you kind of have to take it for what it is. I feel like if you go into this expecting it to be a translation, as far as a lot, I mean, it's not a JoJo's or anything like wild like that, but the One Piece anime is like different, and there's devil's fruits, and there's people walking around with clown noses all the time, and one of the characters has a nose that sticks out like Pinocchio, and you can just like, one guy walks around with double cigars in his mouth the whole time, and the girls are like a size 0, but they're stuck out to here. It's things that you could only get away with in an animated setting. So when you try to put that onto screen, like practical live action people, costumes, puppets, you know, those type of things, it's tough to translate. And I felt like that with season 1, but was still enjoyable. So same thing here. I'm sure a lot of the things aren't going to look and feel like I'm in it, but we'll take it for what it is. Let's jump into it. One Piece season 2 first look official. Let's see what we get. Let us see what we get.
Everything I've done,
Oh shit.
everywhere I go, is for the One Piece.
What is that?
Giant. Oh shit. I want to see that again. Nico, Robin. The double cigars. Vivi. Oh shit, even Nami getting a little work. The goggles look a little funky, I'm not gonna lie. That looks pretty good. They look better than anything season 1. Oh shit! They really made it up there, and they're coming down the red and everything. Laboon and all, huh? So this is coming out in 20. What did they just say about season 3? Season 3, because this was a like back-to-back thing, where they filmed both, but they're not going to release both at the same time. Have they fully finished doing season 3? That was a pretty crazy shot. I want to go back and see that again. Laboon and all. That looks good. Water looks great. Red Line looks great. Ship looks great. All of it. So we got... Yeah, so we're past this. If you're wondering where I'm at in the story, no, we don't do the manga. We're just doing anime over here. Right now on Patreon, we're in like the 650s, the 660s. We're like 15 episodes or so into the Dressrosa Doflamingo storyline. and all that stuff. The toys, the Coliseum, Fujitora, all of that. Like we're just getting into that. I think on YouTube we're just at Punk Hazard, Caesar, Smoke, all that stuff. So that kind of gives you an idea of where I'm at. Like I'm definitely well past the content they're going to put out here, but we're not, I don't know if I'm even halfway in the grand scheme of things. So we get our first giant on screen here. I'm curious how that scaling is going to be when we interact and how it's scaled to mountains and trees and things. Because I feel like that's one thing that the anime does struggle with is scaling these giants, man. One time they'll be on screen and they'll be bigger than a ship, or bigger, like Dressrosa, for example, bigger than the entire like Coliseum and Stadium. And then in the next scene, we'll be sitting down talking to them, and they're barely, you know, that much taller than us. So I'm curious to see how the scaling of that is going to go. Our man walking out with the double cigars. That's not bad. That's not bad. Hair looks good and stuff. I wish he was like a tad bit like, you know, anime buff, but it's fine. It's fine. His hair looks good because that was one of my bigger complaints in season 1. Like, I don't know if it was the makeup department or creative design. It didn't feel like they put wigs on people or they tried to like really do much with the color. It felt like they went out to Party City, grabbed some like cheap spray stuff off Amazon or some stuff, and just sprayed their hairs with it. I feel like that's what Zoro's hair looked like. I feel like that's what Nami's is. Actually, Nami's is pretty good. A couple of the other hair designs, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of rough. There's Nico Robin on screen for the first time. I'm curious of her, like how the mannerisms and everything are going to come off. That's probably what I'm interested in the most, is how her personality and everything comes on screen. Looks, don't have really any complaints about that. Smoker looks pretty great. The double cigars is pretty great. We saw Vivi at one point in here. I think she was before this. I think. Look at Nami even getting some wires work there. No, it was back, further back. Nice. And the flower effect of everything and the devil's fruit, it's pretty nice. Okay. Where was Vivi at? The goggles are ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, those goggles are ridiculous. There's Vivi and all. Not bad. It looks solid. It looks a little bit cleaner. Like some of the complaints that I had with season 1, it looks a little bit cleaner visually. She's going. The Gatling looks so much better than anything they did with him in season 1. That looks good. And then this end shot here, coming over the top of it, red line and all, Laboon, all of it. That looks good. All right. I had my concerns because, like I said, I've seen the Chopper stuff from earlier and I wasn't impressed. I'm curious if they'll have Luffy like, you know, he's always like sitting on the mast or on the side of the ship and all that type of stuff. I wonder if they'll kind of have him do that. But it doesn't look bad. So we're getting a lot of character dumps here. Giants, Vivi, Smoker, Boone. Is there anybody else that we saw? Chopper will be involved in this as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we saw. I don't think so. We should be good for the most part. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it plays out. So what do you guys think of the trailer? I didn't mind it. I thought it looked pretty clean. Curious to see how it plays out. I don't know how many episodes we're getting. And it says 2026. Do we have a release date? And I'm assuming maybe they might. Are we going to get season 2 and season 3 both in the same year? That would be pretty nice, but probably doubtful. It says 2026. Do we have a loose release date on that? No, it just says 2026 and that season 3 production is kicking off. Because I'm assuming they're filming them back to back. What are the comments feeling like? They did it. Smokers smoking 2 cigars. Teasing season 3. The smoker was exactly how I imagined. Yeah, the smoker didn't look bad. Again, I just wish he was a little bit buffer, but yeah, didn't look bad. Laboon, the One Piece. Broggy, yep. This looks sick. Robin, Smoker with 2 cigars. Miss All Sunday. Ren Fair. The trailers definitely makes everything look bigger. You can see the difference in season 1 with season 1, and that's how it has to be after all. Yeah, that's what it felt like. I don't know. It just felt better. Like, I felt like season 1 with a lot of stuff. Ooh, he said CGI looks better than season. Yes. Well, it couldn't be worse. Correct. Some people commenting about how bad it was in season. Yeah, season 1 visually wasn't the best thing in the world for me. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there. It just is what it is. We can speak freely here, but it definitely looks better here. And it's a lot like that with season 1s of like pilot seasons of a lot of things. Like, one of my favorite shows is Game of Thrones. Like, season 1, like some of the wigs and makeup designs and scalings that they have for some characters and some of the locations, it's like, man, this looks kind of rough after you've watched some of the further seasons. But you start getting into it, you're like, man, the CGI on some of this stuff is crazy, when you wouldn't have agreed with that in season 1. That's how I feel with season 1 of the show. But that looks better. It looks better. Man. Alvida was in that? Oh, that was Alvida. Not even, that was so quick. I don't even know how people even noticed her, if that's who that was supposed to be. But yeah, solid stuff. 2026. Curious to see how it looks. And have we seen... Did we see... Zoro with 3 sword style in season 1? Did he have a blade in his mouth? I'm pretty sure they did. I'll be curious to see how that plays out as well. But yeah, not bad. 2026. I'm sure, we'll get a full... I would suspect we get a full official release, like a full official trailer. This is a first look. I would assume we get a full-on official trailer before the year ends. So what are we? Early October? November. Oh, yeah. In the next 3 or 4. Yeah, we should for sure. And I'll be curious to see what we get with it. I'm sure Chopper will be involved with that. They'll clean up some things, and we'll take it from there. So we'll see. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, and as always,